What is going on, guys? I hope everybody's having a wonderful day here. We're currently working on a project right now. Hyundai Santa Fe, which is our new vehicle, which is burning a bit of oil here. Like, not just a bit of oil, but a lot of oil. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what we've done so far, what we've been doing for the past 48 hours. The first thing that we try to do to solve this oil burning solution, we know that these GDI motors are famous for oil consumption, and the reason why is because these pistons are not, the piston rings are not loaded with a piston ring compressor. They are hand loaded in, and they have oil control rings. Easily, if you don't use a synthetic type of motor oil, especially, easily have these tiny little holes that oil will flow through them. They get clogged up with carbon. Once they get clogged up with carbon, the oil rings stick, and they no longer are cleaning the cylinder walls of oil. Therefore, the compression rings are pushing the oil into the combustion chamber to be consumed. This is a major problem that happened with these 2.4 Theta 2 motors here. Hyundai's had many issues with people having catastrophic failures with these motors because they consume oil because of these reasons, and people don't check their oil every day and don't realize that before they know it, their motor goes poof because of oil starvation. So we just got this vehicle here, and we did try a B&G engine EPR flush and switch to synthetic. However, it is still consuming oil, and the B&G synthetic, the B&G engine EPR is an internal engine cleaner, but it doesn't quite reach up to the oil control rings as much. So in this case, we actually tackled it from the top by taking off the spark plugs to expose us directly to the combustion chamber. And what we do, what we've been doing is taking a funnel with these, pouring, I used about 4 bottles of this over the past 48 hours, and you dump about 3 ounces, 3 ounces, 3 ounces, 3 ounces. Cover the give me a second here. Only got 2 hands. You want to go ahead and cover this, the spark plug wells, with a shop towel. And then from here, I'm not going to turn the motor anymore, but it's actually really easy on these Hyundai Santa Fe's, rather than the Ecotech that I have with these 4 cylinders to access the crank bolt right there. And you don't even have to bring the car down, as you can see. I could easily get a half up in here and get it right on there and turn. So that's great. So we just poured the last of our solution in there. We're waiting for it to... Now this Berrymans solution, this stuff right here is really tough stuff. This says toluene in it, like paint thinner. So you don't want it getting on your paint. Don't let this stuff get on your paint. You don't even want it... some of it came up when I was turning the engine, and it flooded the intake valve gasket here, and I immediately got that stuff up because I don't want it sitting even on plastic, because it will just eat right through it. So and I even, to make it even better, a lot of people do this. I've seen some people do this and then like show up in the engine groups and be like, man, my engine blew. I tried to do this and my engine blew. Well, in this case, what I did is I took off the oil filter, and I have the oil drain plug, which is also out. So this stuff, when it's coming down into the oil pan, It's going directly out of the engine. It is not pooling up inside of my oil pan. And as a matter of fact, once we're done and we're going to let it evaporate, we're going to go ahead and run some cheap motor oil through the engine with the oil drain plug off to let it scoop up any remaining varnish or carbon or whatever, or pools of this Berrymans that might be at the bottom of the oil pan. You do not want this stuff running in your oil. So we're going to do it. We're going to actually, I took the old oil out because it's pretty much brand new oil. I just did an oil change. So it's synthetic. So we're going to put this back in once we've cleaned all of the Berrymans out, and we're seeing, because once you dump this stuff into your oil, you got to realize that you've now contaminated your oil with something with toluene in it. You're gonna blow your oil no longer has the lubricating capacity that it once did. It's now diluted with something that's even more going to result in more friction than even water, which is the toluene. So a lot of people blow their engines this way because it just goes right into their oil, and then they run the car with the oil in it, with the Berrymans in it, and then there goes the bearings. Don't do that. Get all that stuff out of your motor. Clean it out. Get a quart, half a quart of some cheap motor oil, and just flush it right through. Dump it into the fill and let it go right out the drain plug. And then once it's all out, then put the drain plug back on, then put the filter back on. Then we're going to put the oil in, and we're going to put some WINS engine combustion cleaner. We're going to do another internal engine cleaner to clean out all the carbon deposits that may have gathered because of this piston soak. Once we do that, all that's going to come out with the oil change. Then we're going to replace it with Valvoline Restore and Protect, and this will keep or a good synthetic. We're using Restore and Protect, which is recommended by Hyundai. This has become such an issue with these Hyundai motors, and I swear this is a really nice car. I really like the Santa Fe. It's one of the most convenient cars I've ever driven in my life. I mean, it's just the features on it. It's just a wonderful car, but the motor is dog poop. And if you don't take care of it very well, maintain these motors very well, they will shit the bed on you. So that's just something to keep in mind, and that's one of the little quirks about Hyundai, and which is why I really don't like Hyundai very much. I actually more prefer Honda or GM or Toyota. But in any case, these spark plugs obviously are very telling of the oil eating condition. Your spark plugs will tell you a lot about how your engine is living and functioning and doing in there. And as you could see, this is just covered in just, how else can I explain it, carbon deposits from burning oil. It's become solid just like those piston rings are. So what we're going to do is, I don't have any brake fluid cleaner. I'm going to take this, I'm going to grab it by the electrode here, and maybe I'll put the camera here. Yeah, I'm going to spray this with starting fluid to clean off these oil deposits. I'm going to take a shop towel and just clean off the tips as well too. That's really bad. I would really man, it's really bad. And this spark plug here was on cylinder 4, and that's just, and even here you could see where it's starting to, the oil burning here is starting to eat into the metal, meaning it's, it's getting caught on the metal. It's compromising to an acmal level to where it's just slowly starting to crack and destroyed. So these are going to need some new plugs as well if you want the car running well like it was before. And that's why it's misfiring and having issues there. It's actually running quite well for how badly these plugs are fouled here. This one especially. And like I said, here's cylinder 3. Although this was cylinder, was it cylinder 3? I know one of these was cylinder 1 here. This is cylinder 1. Cylinder 1's perfectly normal. I don't see any deposits or anything here. Perhaps a little teeny bit of oil, but it's really not that bad. There was oil around the all of these had oil around the threads. So but the thing is that the coil boots were actually just fine, and they didn't have oil covered in them, so it wasn't coming from the gasket, the valve cover gasket. Oil wasn't leaking down from there. It was actually from the oil control rings. Oh, we also went ahead and replaced the PCB, but let's go ahead and get all these cleaned off. This one right here doesn't, I'll go ahead and clean it, but it doesn't need it as much as the other ones do. That one's actually still pretty good. Want to clean all this stuff off, and this stuff will evaporate really quickly. It's basically just alcohol. It's just highly combustible starting fluid. People can't start their car, they pour this into their intake and get it to start. Ooh, that's bad. This is going to need some new plugs for sure. Once we're confirmed that it's not burning oil anymore, then we can go ahead and put new plugs in it, because the oil consumption is what has caused these NGK spark plugs to go bad to begin with. So yeah, we'll see how she does. That's all I really got to say about that. I'm out.